All right, hello. This is Alexander Wales. What are we doing today? It's the Exclusions doc. Um, Hello. Yep, been gone 2 days. It's Labor Day. There are people in my house. Um, okay, I figured that one was already Imperial City. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we've got three left, possibly four. Uh, if I do Gates of Loron, which is the only one currently that is on my maybe list. Uh, and I really don't think I need to do Bos Trevino. I could, but not doing Carolism. Okay, so I did flip that back to story. So I feel like there should be one more on here. Oh, yeah, it's right here. It's because I picked a date for it. Okay, so I do have three more, maybe four. Um, This is one that I wasn't super excited about, but we'll see what we can do with it. And it's one of the reasons it was left for last. Okay, so we before I start, is that cool? I think it is. And I'm just doing one today. My son is back in school. He started first grade. It's first day of first grade today, and but he'll be home at like 2:30. So I've shortened working hours, unfortunately. So I can't do too much streaming. Um, but I mean, not because he's gonna be home. I'm gonna hopefully get in the normal amount of work. But if I don't, that's a little bit of a problem that I'll have to figure out. Um, okay. This is just called jurisdiction. I think I will drop magic from the name then. Um, Double check this. not given a name. Or no, it is given a name. Yes, it does. I agree. It does seem similar to divination. Am I going to do anything about that? I don't think I am. Do my hand stretch real quick. What do you mean no in between? What does in between look like there? Okay. That's part of why I reworded it. Um, I'm going to see if this is... This is also one of those ones that was like back of the mind for a very long time, but I don't think it... I don't believe ever made it in at all, and arguably should be changed, just to not overlap with other exclusions, but I don't like striking things from the record and then having to make a new thing for it, to just like invent an entirely new exclusion. So I don't know. Can I say 2 full generations? That's 288 and, oops, 288 and, okay. I don't understand the question. How is that decided? What is that in reference to? Lag should be low. Um, but sorry, sometimes I'm typing and I'm not looking at chat, and then I look over. Lag should be low, but Twitch is not the best. I like Twitch, but why are some rules valid and some aren't? This is one of the things I don't really want to get into within this entry because I think it would bog it down a lot. In terms of the system, like whether something is lying is like a truth value type thing. So the system would need to know, like, things that happened in the past, or it would need to know your internal perception of whether you're lying or things like that. And it's meant to more act on physical things. Yeah, I don't want to bog the entry down first of all, but I also don't want a system that defines truth. I want it to be like things, and some of this should probably be worked in the entry, but here we can just do it right here. Because jurisdiction. Does Worth the Candle use decibels? we remove that because, so you just not do a parenthetical. But it does still need some wishy-washy stuff. No, it's not debusting injuries. There's two classes of rules. One where you just like can't do a thing. Oh, punishment is chosen by whoever sets it up. Like whoever the practitioner was that cloaked that school in a specific jurisdiction. And I think I said in the like one line thing is that this is more about contradictions of rules. I think I'm going to drop that part of it maybe. It depends on what. Oh, named. Named was the word. Sorry, I got distracted reading chat. Contradictions of rules. Yeah, I think we'll just ditch that. The great thing about not having it in the text is that I have not previously like established that, and so I'm just drop it. Just can drop it and do something new with it, which is why these are always easier to write than stuff where there's like a bunch mentioned in the text. Because, yeah, sometimes I had an idea and it just didn't work out, and there's no capacity to change it. Oh man, I hate when I make a list that should have 3 items in it, and then it's like, what's the third one? Um, oh, I wanted to include another example up here. Um, I'm gonna look at my map real quick. This can probably be closed because it's not updated, but this is... Actually, I think that's the worst version of that, too. The worst version meaning that it is out is not the right smoothing that gives you the best sense of when exclusions are. Oh, it's right there. Okay, so this is not very far from the Imperial City, which is good. So I'm gonna assume for most of these entries that if there was a way of just like instantly breaking the system, that way doesn't work for whatever reason. and I do worry that's like frustratingly vague, but I don't know. I think some of the magic systems are underdeveloped. Well, no. Okay, let me rephrase that. I think some of the magic systems, as presented in the exclusion stock, are underdeveloped, and I think that some of that underdevelopment doesn't necessarily show, but it's like if you're actually making a magic system, you want to like that's like going to be used in a book. You want to make sure that you have all of the nooks and crannies explored, and just so you can make sure that it's coherent, just so you have an answer for like why does X not do Y, the famous why does X not do Y. I mean, like how much does it have to be laid out for this like this is supposed to be like 700 words, right? That's like it's supposed to tell a small story, and I want just enough examples that you get the idea. Like the meat here is more interesting to me than the like than the nooks and crannies. But yes, you should assume that you you can't just like instantly break it the moment that you start playing with it. You should assume that it's better constructed than that, whatever form that takes in your mind. What do we call it? We called it inter. I don't know why I can never remember this word. Probably because I can't pronounce it. Yeah. Uh, mm, okay. Okay. I can change this. Um, for approximately 50 years. Crime plummeted. $2.30. No, 337. Is this? Consent is not a continual thing. Sorry, I'm not reading chat that much today. Partly to get this done faster. Um, okay, how long is this at current? Yeah, I know I mentioned this a lot, but during Prohibition, um, in order to stop people from drinking like industrial alcohols, they poisoned them and killed about 10,000 people. And then they were like, oh, because what they had thought was if we put poison in the alcohol, people will not drink it. Um, and they're like, you know, what if we just make the rules harsh enough, then obviously people are going to follow the rules, which is typically not how it works. So like you can't just like skyrocket the punishment for a crime up to infinity and then expect people to still follow those rules. Sometimes it's the point that you know that they won't, and then you can just jail your enemies for minor crimes or whatever. But yeah, some people are like, if we had the death penalty for shoplifting, no one would shoplift, which I don't think is true. I think some people would evaluate it rationally, but a lot of people when they shoplift are not doing it because they have made a sober weighing of the pros and cons. They're doing it because they need to eat food. Yeah, no, this is a well, okay. All attempts to fix this have failed. This is a minor zone because you can still live there. You just need to follow their strict rules. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna write June first note first. Gotta read the Constitution real quick from the National Archives. amend. Two-thirds of both houses. The laws can be circumvented, yeah. I need to finish this note and then I'll work on features. Um, I was hoping to get away with not listing all the laws that apply in this city. Just list the important ones. So the important ones are going to be anti-vagrancy, anti-theft, anti-violence. It's called 10 because of 10 commandments, but you don't actually need all 10. There's a George Carlin bit about which is like funny, but also sensible that you don't actually need all 10 commandments. A house in the context of the Constitution is the Senate and the House of Representatives. But I mean, that's literally how the Constitution says. Two-thirds of both houses. Here, I can capitalize houses. But yeah, that's we have a bicameral system, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Or you need two-thirds of the state legislatures, which is about equally difficult. The next one after this is the artificial intelligence one. I'm not doing it today, though. The Constitution has gotten changed. I think anyone who says that there's like, I think the Equal Rights Amendment was the last one that was like close to getting changed. Here. So the 27th, which was, this was the congressional compensation. Okay. Proposed 1789, ratified 1992. Yeah, most of the amendments have been like this was post Vietnam. No, that was during Vietnam, right? Funny that this one was 92, but yeah, there were a spate of ones in the 60s, but these are all relatively minor ones. But so the this is politics, but whatever. It's on stream. I don't really care that much. I mean, I care a lot about the politics of it, but um, you have all these amendments, and there's basically no chance that any amendment is going to get passed in the next 50 years unless something changes a lot, and everyone agrees on it. And I don't know the last time a party has had 2/3 of both houses, so it would need to be bipartisan. Do I need an example of stare decisis going wrong? I don't think I do. If you want to, like the most cases which carved out the meat of the, what was it, 18th Amendment, 17th Amendment, possibly both. So after the Civil War, they made a number of amendments to the Constitution that were largely related to like the rights of citizens. It's a set of three post-war amendments, and then the slaughterhouse cases carved some of them out. And there's a bunch of like stupid shit in the Constitution. I just really do not like the Constitution, like as a legal document and as it pertains to modern society. There's a lot of stuff that hangs on. Here, this is a digression, but this right here, this is the well, okay, this is not, but this is the Interstate Commerce Clause, which gives Congress or the power to regulate commerce among the several states. And this is the Interstate Commerce Clause. And everything, there are like probably 24 government agencies which rest upon the single line. This is the justification for entire agencies to exist, is to regulate commerce among the several states. So some of the stupid shit that they've decided based on this like single half line in the Constitution is like Congress Congress established the USDA and the FDA and a bunch of other agencies whose justification is that they're regulating commerce among the several states. And so this covers all kinds of stupid stuff because what they really want is for there to have been a line in here that says commerce can regulate, production. But commerce can't regulate production. It can regulate commerce among the several states. And so if you are like growing tomatoes in your backyard and you want to sell them to someone, or even if you don't want to sell them to someone, um, Congress can get involved because the justification for that is that they have the power to regulate commerce among the several states. And you're like, well, okay, but that's not commerce among the states. I'm just growing tomatoes in my backyard and I'm giving them to my neighbor and we're within the same state. So there shouldn't be any federal authority there, right? Um, and the federal government has decided that it does have the authority to do that. But really there should be, like, I agree that Congress should have that power, right? I'm totally fine with there being an FDA or a USDA or an EPA. But it's all hanging on this like dumb reading of commerce among the several states that has been built up so much over time. That more rests on the interstate commerce clause than on anything else. And it's just super ridiculous the lengths that are gone to say, hey, this is all constitutionally justified somehow. When really what they should have done is change the Constitution, but the barriers for changing the Constitution is super high. And so you get lawmakers just looking at the Constitution, seeing if there's any possible justification, and just doing it that way instead. Ron Paul he's a libertarian guy whose time has passed, I think. I think he's still alive, but he was super popular in like 2008. Is he dead? Nope, he's still alive. 87. But he's a libertarian guy, and so I was like, there's no justification for the FDA and the USDA. He's the guy from the "It's Happening" meme, yeah. Right. Yeah, everything is interstate commerce if you squint. But Ron Paul wanted to get rid of those federal agencies, but like he had a point that like it's such a thin constitutional justification. So like why have we not, like we generally as a society in the United States agree that the government should have those powers, right? It feels like you could get 2/3 of people, or 2/3 of both houses, to agree pretty easily, yes, the FDA should exist, even with the, extremists or whatever. But it's never going to make it into an amendment because amendments were made into this huge deal. Anyway, some of that is what I have in mind when writing this exclusion. But this is more city level, but it's also like, someone wrote the rules, you can't unwrite the rules, and now you're just kind of stuck with them, and you have all this like stuff, and people are like, well, why is it like that? And you have to say, well, there's a rule that we can't change, and so we have to try our best to work around those rules. I think this features section is going to be probably 4 entries, or maybe 3 paragraphs. And so what I imagine here is that there's like, you have like 1 million people put a rule in place, and then your population declines enough that getting to 1 million people to override that rule gets much more difficult, or even impossible. Sorry, I smell pot smoke. Someone is smoking pot outside. And yeah, prohibition killed a lot of people. like through poisoning, but also just a lot of people. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted. Been going at this an hour. I don't want to do 4 paragraphs. I want to do 3 paragraphs. Oh, there was a pun earlier. Constitution modifier. I will not be using that pun because I don't think I have room for it. Um, how long do you have to sleep? I think 5 minutes. I think nodding off is maybe not enough. No, I don't think you'd. I don't think you'd move the rail line. I think you'd. I think you'd have like an alarm system. You'd like have a usher or whatever, that like ticket taker move through and just be like, "Hey, alarm, we're going into the city, and you got to wake up like right now." Um, I mean, the boxcar children could use a rail car as a house. I'm trying not to. Oh, I guess I. Yeah, I'm trying not to do too much of the like too much of the minutia of the, like only when it has an impact, right? Only when it adds something. Yes, you can hurt someone by gifting them something. But everyone knows that, so like I guess I can include a note about that. Um, Okay, I'm going to be done with this one for now. That is first pass done anyway, and I will maybe think about it some. 1,500 words. Okay, so we're going to pass 60,000 on the dock for sure. What needs to be done here? This just needs to be turned green. Oh boy. So it's just Cadian and Gates of Lauron then. So that would be my... Still not sure I'm doing that. Because, like, okay. I'm going to take some time to think about this, because I'm not doing 2 today, so I can sit. And I think that I probably would not have done this one if I had to do it over. So I'm gonna do some prep work for these for tomorrow. Cadian is not mentioned at all, except in Slayer of Horrors. Come on, okay. This is Guardian of the Underworld. There we go. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. I like the idea of artificial intelligence. I liked it better in like 3 or 4 years ago. Like if I were rewriting this now, which I definitely have an opportunity to because this is all that's in there, I'd probably have it more about deep learning and neural nets, but let me check my timeline here. Like, when did I actually write this? This is CH75. When was that published? So that was published in 2018. And I don't think GPT-3 was out then. So there's a lot of stuff in the context. Yeah, that was like 2 years before GPT-3. 2 years before, like, the deep learning boom. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to write this, because the way that I would write this now is different than the way I would write it in 2018. If it's about artificial intelligence, which this one was supposed to be. Like, AI in a box is not the direction I was planning to go with it, but it's the kind of thing that I would not write now, because it's less... It feels less in the moment now. I will figure this one out for next time. So, Gates of Lauron, what is cool about this? Yeah, 2018. This is 4 years ago. Lots of cool AI stuff has happened since then. So what's cool about the Gates of Lauron? Utherian Adventures and the Other Side. That suggests to me that this is one of those that's more as a note, possibly from Raven, because Raven in theory knows all this stuff. And here, I'll just write out problems. Problems. Okay, I reserve the right to axe this one, but because I am finishing ahead of my self-imposed schedule of, so I have 1 week basically to get everything first pass done, and I'm going to include to-dos in that because I have enough time. Otherwise, I'd have just left those for later. And I don't know if I'm doing those on stream. I think editing is pretty boring because it's primarily writing, but I might do the to-dos on stream. Because there's about 25. What do you mean include the art time? Well, yeah, but art is mostly not going to happen on stream because it's so slow. It's so slow. Even if you do Stable Diffusion, which is faster than. I also ran out of Midjourney yesterday, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm going to double check where I am on pictures. Okay, so if I do 67 total, and I have 53, that's only 12 more pictures that I need. That's not too bad, but some of those are not good images. What I need to do is have all those images linked in here so that people can actually see them. And I also need to have a new column. Insert column 1 to the right. What I need to do is have this code, have all these codes. So I will probably go through and do that. I will probably rearrange this so that they are all in the order that they will be published in, which is going to be alphabetical order. This looks like so few when I just am looking at it as a spreadsheet. This does not look like 60,000 words worth. Oh wait, no, this must be wrong. 67. Oh, because that one's not in there. Okay, oh, and plus 1. Okay, so yeah, this is 65 entries. So yes, I will probably work on art. So my schedule is that I'm here for the next week, and then I'm gone for a week, and then I'll be back, and I've got like other stuff I need to work on, including dungeons, but like other stuff beyond that. I've got my agent has been finding stuff for me, so nothing I can talk about, but there is going to be, I'm going to have other obligations that I need to get done and not work on just like random stories I'm never going to publish. So that's the stream for today. Thanks for joining me. I will be back same time tomorrow, or roughly same time, to do either Cadian or Gates of Lauren. We'll see how I feel about both of these after thinking about them for part of the day. Thanks so much for joining me, and we are bringing this to a close.